What's going on, fam? This is the Day Traders versus the weekly outlook for November 2nd, 2025. How's everybody doing today? It's been a little of a weird couple of days, a couple weeks. What's up with you guys? How is
What's going
everybody?
on?
Hey
All right.
Corey, hey everybody, doing all right?
What's up? What's up? So I will go ahead and get started. Let's go news for this week. We have daylight savings, so I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired. I'm like dragging today. It is one of those days. The weather outside ain't helping it out that much either. But going into this week, we have PMI on Monday at 10 a.m. So we should get some a decent setup off of that. We had the previous was one was 449.1. Forecast is 49.4, 62.4 on the forecast for the prices. And then we have no other news until Wednesday. Supposedly we have our ADP farm roll change. We are expecting 28,000 new jobs, and that'll be released at 8:15. And then we also have ISM PMI. And then we have unemployment claims tentatively on Thursday. Um, and we have FOMC members speaking on Thursday. And then Friday, supposedly we have the unemployment rate and non-farm payroll and PCE. So Friday looks like our biggest day. But keep in mind some of this stuff is only tentative because we don't know if a lot of this news is dependent on the government. So if the government still shut down, we may not get these numbers. So we got to keep that in mind. We have we got a lot of earnings this week. One of the top ones, we got Palantir. They just did a deal with Nvidia, so they should probably be running. Hims is one I always trade out on options, but I don't have anything going on right there on that options. AMD, that'll move the market possibly. Got Robinhood, some meme stocks now, AMC. A couple ones that I've been looking at: DraftKings, SoundHound, Iris. That's always one that I'm looking at. I should have probably started buying the Irene, which is Iris Energy, but I didn't. So I'm not going to touch that one. One, you guys are familiar with Airbnb reporting earnings. Let me just look through, see if I missed anyone that we looking at. Like I said, we definitely looking at DraftKings. I didn't actually start my position on that, so I'm gonna have to look early Monday to see if I can still like the price on that. And I didn't get in the DraftKings setup, so I'm gonna have to look for that. I wasn't really sold on the DraftKings setup, so that's part of the reason why I didn't make a move on that. So let me go back. Oops. So that's Fansly. We'll start with the option plays today. So not a lot changed on Fansly. We started getting in around this price gap and this monthly fair value gap low, price gap low. So we are actually up on this already. We had a nice little jump. The earnings are going to be released on Wednesday, so we got to keep that in mind. I'm looking at us taking out this previous week high, um, the previous day high here, and then taking out this 918 high. So, and then the contract we decided on this one was, let me look. Fansly, the contract on this one was the 1114 and 21. So those are the contracts we looking at. For elite play, if we want to take elite play, I like this for elite play. Also the January 28th, 2021, the January 21st, 2028, $10 to $12. 10 to 12.50 contract. Either one of those are looking good. So that's what Fansly looking like. Let me drop this chart. Drop this in the group. Okay, that's Fansly. And then DraftKings. DraftKings, I really wasn't liking DraftKings, to be totally honest. I'm not saying that they won't move, but like as far as the position goes, I don't really care for where it is right now. I think that I think it'll move because of earnings, but at the same time, I'm not liking how we've had all of this down move. I don't like the down move that we had on this. So I personally won't be taking a play on DraftKings, I don't think. But if you do decide to, um, this is the details for it that I'm looking at on DraftKings. I'll put that same thing in there for Fansly as well. These are the details. This is the contract I'm looking at. Um, and then I think it'll beat because, there has been an uptick in gambling of late, and they are really, really pushing advertising towards them. So I don't think that, I mean, I think it's a good look. I think it'll beat, but it's just I don't like the positioning on it. So that's my own personal thoughts on it. Like I think it'll end up beating, but I just don't like where it is to take a position on it. So I'm not gonna take it. Um, but if you do take it, let me know. I'm curious to see how it play out. Don't not take it because I don't like it and you might like it for your own reasons. So like do what you feel is right. I'm not the person to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it. Neo, we in still this elite play, so nothing real, no big change on it. We did move up. Goal now is take out this high we made last week and get above this inverted fair value gap right here, and to go ahead and get to the $8 target. Like it's not a lot has changed on Neo. It's this one's elite play, so it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while, and This is more so like a stack it up play. Like, anytime we get a drop, we can add on to this. Um, add on to our position on this, but not nothing really changed. Um, this one, let me just put the contract details. This one, Neo. This one is Elite Play. And we're looking at the 5/15 2026 leap. And we either looking at the $8 or the $10. And that's what we're looking at on this. Oops. Yo. All right. And let me just see y'all a screenshot of this. Man, it's tough today, man. I always get like really, really tired on these daylight savings days, man. I hate it, man. Like we don't need this no more. Like we don't have to do this no more. Okay. All right. Nothing on the Nvidia. I don't have any more setups on Nvidia, but if you still holding Nvidia, we did take out the all-time high that we had made at 195.62. We made a new all-time high at 212.19. This is the recent area we gapped up after we took the high out. We got to deal with this. I think if we do hold into this, I think this could be a good spot to see us run up to, because I think that we get that 250 target before year out. I like the 250 target, or especially I think we can do 225, 250 on this one. Um, I'm already out of these, so no new setups on this, but I'll update. Let's just update this if we get a hold. Um, if we get a hold, we stay in here to go to our 225 price point, where we can see buying anywhere inside of here. We already shown we can get above the 200 and start to hold. So the next logical place for us to go to is 225. We already went above 220. I mean 212 already. So the next logical price point is the 225, 250 area. So we'll go ahead, and if we do get any setups in here, I would need us to pull back a little bit at this point. I would like for us to see it come down and maybe trade to like 193. There's a little gap right here. I wouldn't mind seeing us feel that. And this is a huge fair value gap right here. I would definitely not mind seeing us come into this, but in particularly this price point right here, this particular gap right here, because this gap lines up with us with this high and us trading down into the body of this. So I wouldn't mind seeing us come all the way down, maybe at some point. tap into here, and then we can run from there. But nothing on this one yet. Nothing on this one yet. And because all the news is positive on Nvidia right now, to assume that we'll get this pullback anytime soon kind of is not looking great right now because it just looking like it's on a tear at the moment. But I'll send you this chart anyway. Not gonna send you no updates on the actual price though. So Nvidia. We did pick up Grab. Start picking up Grab down here between 562 and 518. We already hitting our $6 point. I want to see us go ahead and take out the high from last week and get this 662 and eventually run to this 735. We have earnings on this one on Monday, so we'll know soon. It's after hours, so we'll know at the end of the day by Monday how we are gonna fend on this play. Um, if we Here are the details from all the plays, all the pickups that I have. I have the 650 and the $6 contracts. The $6 contracts, I've got three more on Friday, right on Thursday, right before the market close, around around 3 o'clock. Um, I'm in on the 614, 650 contracts. I got some at $18 per. I got some at $19 per. So I got a lot in on this one, but that's okay. This is a nice earning setup. Let me send y'all the details on that. And let me send you the chart.
Hey, quick question, Corey, on that. Do we just until we like hit our target, we stay in it until that before it because like I said, if it expires or we hit the target before it expires, we just go ahead and close it.
If you want to.
Okay.
On you. Yeah, it's on you. If your goal is your goal,
Yeah.
your goal may be just make 100%, take my money out, I'm done.
Right.
You also may want to, hey, I'm gonna take 100. I'm gonna take if I'm up 100%, I'm gonna take 50% off to get my money back, and then I'm just gonna add in because I might like the company. So,
Mm.
and then that in that case, you would want to buy a contract that expires a little further out to give yourself time.
Okay. Okay.
That's the difference between the leaps and the earnings plays, right? The earning plays are specifically related to the expiration date of the earnings, right? And in this case, Grab earnings reports on the third, right? So
Hmm.
what I like to do before I see earnings is if I think the company is going to do good, a lot of times you'll notice that before earnings, you'll start seeing price push down, you know, and it'll reach a certain bullish point of interest. And when it reaches that bullish point of interest before earnings, I like to already be in. So I might start buying around 584, 562, all the way down to 545. And so that when the earnings release, if it does pan out to be like I want it to, we push up and I'm already in it.
In it. Yeah.
I'm already in it, right? So, but with the leaps plays, they cost a little more, but they are for a longer term move, right? So I'm looking at the same exact thing, right? In some cases where I'm looking for a bullish move off of a point of interest, bullish point of interest, but I'm giving myself, more time for this particular setup, right? And in those cases, the leaps I'm looking at like expirations of next year or the year after that, for those plays. So those will usually have time. And then in those cases as well, if for some reason some news come out between the time when I purchase the contract to the time of expiration, and it runs up 200, 600%, I may take it off. I may still take it off because at that point I've made a lot of money off of it. I can now move into a different setup. I can take the money that I made off of it and then just put it somewhere else. Got it?
Yeah, thank you, Corey.
No problem. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about trying to add more to it myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That's definitely an option. Because if you like it and you still seeing that it's gonna push up, um, it's definitely a good option to instead of closing it out and just get more. But you just gotta make sure you get more. If you're gonna do that, just make sure you get a later expiration date
Okay. Okay.
so that way you got more time.
More time for it to push up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that was Grab. And then the other one, let me see, Path picked up some more of those as well on that setup on Path. Um, again, we kind of hold it inside of this daily price gap right here. And get added some on Thursday, and we already pushed it up on those. If I'm okay if this does drop a little bit because we don't have earnings on this until December the 4th. So I would be okay if we came down to 14, but I'm starting to build my position right now on this. So right now I've only picked up like two contracts on this, but if we start to drop, then I'll start to add in, and I would specifically like to see us come into 14 to 1290. And then once we get closer to this December the 4th, if I haven't added in my full position, my last positions will be going in right before that December 4th date, and then we'll see if we can get this $20 target on that. So that's how I'm looking at this one. The contract details on Path are I got a couple of these. If you want to do the long plays, a leap play. I got a leap set up here, and then I got an earnest play set up here, and I'm gonna send you guys both of those. This is path, and then let me screenshot this. Then let me get the chart. Yeah, I started last week going into path, and I'm actually up. I think like 20% on this already. For some reason, something told me to not take a close bid, close ask on this. The spread was like, at the time when I was looking at it, the spread was like, I think it was like 120 per contract, or on the low end, it was like $90 per contract, I think. But I saw somebody on, I saw an order flash on around $75 per, and I put the order in actually at 65. So I went really, really outside of the range of the spread. It dropped, it picked it up at the 75, at the 65 price. So I paid what was showing on the options screener at 120 per. I paid 65 for it. So, and then at the end, before the end of the day, when we got this little pop, it was already up to 80 something. So that was a good move on that. right? So that's the kind of, kind of stuff that I want y'all to start doing, start getting comfortable with, you know. So this contract is the fifth, the earnings is the fourth, and we don't have the before after hour details yet, but they'll likely be let me see. Let's look at their past release after hours. So they'll be after hours releases on this. So um this will be on a Thursday after hours. So and like I said, I got this the fifth contract. You can look at the fifth or the 12th, the fifth or the 12th, the fifth, 12th or 19th contract. If you want to look at those for earning plays. And then for the leap contracts, there's some good leaps prices at the January 15th, 2027. And the strikes that I'm looking at are there was oh wait a minute. Mm, oh, my bad. I'm wrong. Let me get rid of this. So the on path, we have the 5th, 12th, and 19th. And then we have this January 27th, 2027. I like the $30 down to the $25 if you wanted to pick some of those up for the leaps, or even the $17. Those will be 17 to 22 is a little pricey. I don't want to spend that much on this play yet. But I wouldn't mind getting the $30 or the $25 on that. So, which would give me the same move, right? Because I think we'll hit $20 on that. So another way you can look at the leaps as well, right? They are a little more pricey, but buying one contract at $267 to still see 100% on those is that means that you just double that 267 once you, I mean, I'm not double it, but if you go up 200%, it's a lot easier for you to double, a larger amount of money, um, than to say like, hey, I'm getting the $19, I'm gonna get that for 80 cents. If I double that twice, if I double that, then I'm looking at 160. Over there, you're looking at for I think what was it 260. So over there, you looking at it as like 520, right? So it's you can get the same moves. You just gonna have for the leaps, but you just pay a little more. You pay a little more. Um, so I like to kind of switch in between whether or not I'm gonna play options leaps or whether I'm gonna play the earnings play because right now, I'm just building a couple of accounts right now. So I'm not being that aggressive on it. So, but if I was, doing like $1,000 per, like, or, risking 500 at a time, then I would probably definitely go into the leaps for the same play that I'm looking at for the earnings. But right now, I'm just doing like trying to do like 250 to $300 risk per trade. I'm not trying to do a lot right now. So that's that one. That's Path. And then Jumia, they report on the 12th. Um, same, I did the same play on Jumia as I did on Path. The spread was wide, and instead of going with the current spread, I used the pending order to get pulled in at 75 cents. I think the spread was like 20 to 30% higher, which I am okay with. I want it. I'm okay with us dropping. I just don't want us to take out this candle right here. This order block right here. Because we still got a little time. We got about another week for this one. So I'm okay with it dropping. Let me send y'all this one. This contract is this one's on the 21st or the 18th of November for this contract, for this setup. So you still got time on this one. This one is the 21st, and I'm looking at the 12 and a half, 12.50 or to up between 12.50 and $14. So that means you would be paying anywhere between $75 and $100 per contract on this. Um so that one is okay. This one's gonna be a pretty. This one I traded this one a lot. The earnings on this one comes out before the market opens, so once we get near that time frame, we should see it move. We should go ahead and see it move right when the market open. Let me see this one. And now that's all of the option plays. I may have a couple more, but I don't think I think I'll just be kind of managing or adding on. I will be looking for more next week. Um, hold on one second. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that. But yeah, I will let you guys know if I have any more any new setups. And again, I want you guys to follow if you guys follow like when I post these, this is where I'm putting all of the updates on this in the group. All of the updates. If I actually go ahead and make any changes, I'm putting the updates in here. Or if I add on, I'm putting them here. Same thing with the future plays. If I get anything, find this. If you don't see it or you get lost, if you're in the group, if you just put in like that hashtag, um, let me see. If you just search here and just search that at hashtag, it'll bring all of that up. Or you can just if you go to I'm usually pinning them here too. So if you go to this, um, and just click on the hashtag, it'll pull up any of those that I posted already. So that way you can just find those quickly and get any updates that I have put out on that and on that trades on the trades of that I've taken on that. So now dollar, let's look at what we had last week on dollar right quick. Dollar last week, we were looking at it to pretty much hold this 4 hour range right here. And then if it held that 4 hour range, we were going to take out this weekly high. And then we should start seeing price close above 99.52 for 99.524, right? So you can see this was that area right here. We held that 4 hour range right here, pretty much made our low right here. And then once we did, we took out the high and then we started to trade above that 99.524 area. So now that we've done that, in between this 99.524 area up into this high, this old monthly high, is not a lot that's gonna stop us from taking out this high. We do see we getting a retracement. So overall, I don't think we'll trade down too much further in than this. But if we do, there's going to be something around this area that creates a fair value gap to take us lower, right? So that's the sell setup. The buy setup is if we do manage to come back down in here, we can take a buy from there, or for some reason we come back, we can take a buy from here. But I think overall price is gonna be pushing up to take out this high from last week, and then we go up into this previous week high. Now, the reason why, let me see you this. I didn't really trade a lot this past week, and that was because I had to be in the office, and my sister was pregnant. I mean, delivering the baby. So I didn't really have a chance to trade a lot this past week. But even when I did, I didn't see a lot of what I wanted to see. And I didn't see a lot of it because especially on like gold and on indices, I like to see that dollar is doing the opposite of what those gold and the indices are doing, right? So you'll see that dollar and gold were actually doing the same thing last week. So it made me a little hesitant to take the trades, right? So the open of last week was I'm looking at something. This was last week's open. So the sell-off just happened after hours, right? But then once we got into the middle of the week, we started actually trading in the same direction as gold, I mean as dollar. So once I didn't catch the drop and we started to kind of go sideways, dollar and gold start moving together. So when I see dollar and gold moving together, I'm usually kind of gonna leave those alone. But we got liquidity inside of this fair value gap. We got a low here, low here. I think this low is gonna be set for a while. And then we have this previous day high. I think that the way that we're moving, these lows and this low are at risk. So either if we stay, we kind of ranging right now sideways. If we stay to the upside, this will be our first target, and then we go ahead and try to get back to last week high. If we start pushing to the downside, these lows will be at risk, and then we'll have to start looking at this low to get taken out. And if we look at last week on gold, we did go ahead and drop and we did go ahead and drop, but we never took out this low right here. And we started to push up. And that's where I was like, hey, we already made this huge move. And either we're going to just go ahead and start pushing back up or we go sideways. And we kind of just went sideways. That's why my target was only this previous day high on gold. That was this high at the time. And then we went ahead and just took it out, but then we traded right back in the range. So, and a lot of times you'll see stuff like that because they're both moving in the same direction. So, because they are moving in the same direction, one of them has to bend. Like either gold gonna bend or dollar is gonna bend. And if they don't bend, that means that I don't trade them at that point. Like if they don't do the opposite of each other, then I don't want to have my hands on dollar and I mean on gold until I see them doing inverted inversion. So trading the opposite of each other. On on Dow. On Dow, expectations on Dow were that we would gap up. We gapped up earlier throughout the week. Dow actually traded early off of the pretty much the middle of this new week opening gap. And then it went ahead and just started running up, right? Our expectations actually on the close was that it was going to come down into here first, the week before last, and we never came down into this. So now that we've left this open, we gapped up, we only traded higher. I was kind of done because it did what my expectations were for this whole week. It had already got to it over here. So and I couldn't trade on Tuesday. So my whole plan for last week was kind of just blown out the window. Um so then we did end up creating this inverted fair value gap. So my thought was that if we were going to trade higher, we need to trade through this and then we take out this high. If not, we are going to trade back down to take out this low and then we'll either bounce up off of the low to go higher or we come back below this and then we trade lower or we trade up to this area and then sell off. What do we do? So that was on the 29th. The 29th, what do? We traded up higher, we sold off, we took out this low, then we sold back into that area again, and we just traded back down near this weekly gap opening. And we traded back into this range again, and we just set our lows inside of that. So we just kind of went sideways for the rest of the week. Still pretty much in the same range, right? So it's still the expectation is that if we're going to go higher, we need to trade above and through this range right here. If we're going to trade lower, we need to take out these lows and trade down into this area and then use this to sell off again if we're really going to take a big sell. Or we're going to sell off from this area up here. If not, we trade down and we hold and we push up, or we automatically push up and then just start trading through this, or we push all the way down and then we start to push up from here. So there's the sell off setup where if we start taking out these lows, we can start looking for price to push down to this range on the 4 hour. If we don't take that and it just runs down, the next time I will look to sell is if we've traded down below this and we traded back into this new week gap range, new week opening gap range, and then we start holding around this midpoint area, and then we sell off again. The other sell setup is that if we get up in here and in the side of this inverted fair value gap, and we start to try to sell off up here. Any outside of that, I'll be looking for buys. Here, just automatically above, or if we coming down in here and we start looking for seeing rejections inside of there, because that's in line with the overall time frame move on this. That's Dow. And next is NQ. Similar, but last week, similar move last week. Um, but it was, a lot higher of a move. Over here on the open of last week, we gapped up. We just kind of pushed up. I think my target last week was somewhere around this 26 250 area. By the time I could actually take a trade on it, we'd already went to and from through those, so no real trade on NQ. Then once we got up here near these, we set new all-time highs up here. It's either we just trade through the high to take out the new all-time high we made, or we sell off, take this low out, and then trade down into this the gap that we made. We tried to. We took out this low. We set another low, but we still never came down into this range. So this gap is still gonna be one that I think we need to come down to. I like to see the equal lows sitting right here, relatively equal lows that are sitting right here, because that acts as a move for us to swing below those, take the lows out, and then trade into this and then try to bounce up. So the sell setup is if we trade down into this and you start seeing us get below this, they'll probably use this to sell off from that area to go lower. But for the most part, if we get into this, this is bullish. And if we get into this area, we could likely see buys from the high, middle, or low of the new week opening gap that we left up over here. So that's where these two blue lines are, my buy setups. Or we just immediately start to push up, which we always could possibly do. Um, and we aim for taking out this high, and then the next area is the 26,600 area. There's a couple of things I could mark on the chart. I'll leave that to you, but know there is an inverted fair value gap that's here to here. So the low of this candle, the high of this candle, mark that off. That pretty much covered that whole area. So let me just add it. The path. Let me change this. So it'll actually look more along the lines like this, where we have worst case scenario. If we start to take out this, this gap right here, where we have price already has traded through that. We already sold off from here. But if we get back above this, we probably will start to really push higher from that particular area. And let me just give you guys this on NQ. And then the last one is S&P. Same behavior for the most part on S&P. We just had we did drive into the new week opening gap last week. Um, again, we had the gap. The target was at 69.90, 68.90 initially. We immediately went through that. We started making new highs here, here, and here. We set a new all-time high. And then right now we are right around the 669.50 area, which is where we made our high. We'll probably go ahead and push through that. And if we don't, like I said, this particular low that we made here on the 29th into the 30th, that one was at risk. If we push up, we just go ahead and make a new high here. If we sell off, we push down into the gap and we start trying to see lows being made in the gap. And worst case scenario, we trade through the gap. We start to try to use that to sell off. So far, we have only from that low, we took out that low we just mentioned. We made another low here. We tried to buy off of this high of this. Still, we tried to buy again off of the midpoint. Still came back down to the midpoint again. We tried to buy one more time, and we just kind of ranging at this point. So, if we are going to make a move outside of this range, it's going to need to come across either we go ahead and push up off of this, take out this high and this high, and then we start to shoot for this high. Then the next high, the next level we can probably see a high is 69.90 area. If we continue to push down, we need to see price trade below both of these, the new week opening gap and this 4-hour fair value gap, trade below it, and then come back up into that range and then try to start selling off to go lower. Other than that, I can see us bouncing off of this area, bouncing off of this area, or bouncing off to hold higher. And you know what you'll need to do after that is just look for confirmation. And then once you get your confirmation, you can know where to target. You know where to target and go from there. So let me sing it. ES. Let me sing it. ES. Okay. So rest of the session, we went over the news. We went over the Forex factory. We went over the option plays. Am I missing? We got gold, dollar, NQES. Okay. Rest of the session, I'm gonna leave it open for you guys to ask questions. I still want to do like a whole from basic to advanced session where it's like an hour long where I'm just like answering questions and we just going through everything where I kind of break down my whole strategy from how do I mark up my charts, how do I look for my lower time frame, higher time frame, medium time frame setups, and then how do we go for entries, exits, take profits, and what the psychological strategy behind that is. And I'll set it up. I put it off. I was gonna do it last week, but nobody showed up. So um, but that's all good. So now I'm just gonna put it on hold because I want to just like get some slides ready and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, the rest of this session is just Q&A.
I don't have any questions, Corey, but thank you. I just want to say thank you. This all these sessions been really helping me respect my
Okay,
trading.
appreciate that, player. Okay. All right. I'll take silence as nobody got anything.
Yeah, I'm good also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much for
All
this
right.
session.
And then I'll go ahead and post the video on YouTube. I open up my YouTube. I every video that I've ever done is on YouTube now. So it's not private, it's not hidden. Um, all of our sessions that we've had, all of them are up now. So if you want to go and look at anything, it's under my YouTube. My YouTube is here. Um and I just open everything up. I don't think it's in order anymore because I didn't like open it. I just started opening them. I don't know, man. I got mad at y'all last week because didn't nobody show up. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to just show up for y'all. So I'm just gonna just why am I doing this just for the group if nobody gonna show up? So you know what? I'm just gonna just start giving it away. Like so all of the videos is over like 300 something videos on my channel. And this the link to it if y'all want it. If you're not on there already, this the link. So you can watch it anytime you want. Okay?
Thank you.
Cool beans. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great Sunday. Catch it in the markets. If I see something, if I'm getting into something, especially some option plays, I'll let you know. And on the group in the group. And then I'll post the link for all this in the group. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Core.
Thank you, Corey. Bye.
All right.
Core.
Yep.
We still doing